Welcome to the Scandinavian Defense. It begins with pawn to e4, and if you are an e4 player yourself, then you definitely need to know how to handle the Scandinavian defense. So, what is the point of playing the move pawn to d5? In the opening, you want to develop your pieces and fight for control of the center, and the move pawn to d5 helps you to achieve both of these goals. You fight for the center and also occupy one central square yourself. On top of that, you open up the diagonal for your bishop and the line for your queen. Therefore, it is an ideal move that fits all the criteria you want from an opening move. Now, why would you play pawn to d5 instead of the more common pawn to e5 as the first move? Of course, both moves are perfectly playable. It is not that one is necessarily better than the other. However, some drawbacks of the move pawn to e5 are, first of all, that your opponents are very familiar with it. This is what they have been studying and preparing for their whole chess career. Secondly, if you play pawn to e5, you must be ready to face a wide range of different openings, including the King's Gambit, the Italian game, the Ruy Lopez, the Scotch game, and many others. There is really a huge amount of theory here. By contrast, the Scandinavian defense is just a single opening where black plays pawn to d5. Now, comparing the move pawn to e5 with the Scandinavian, after pawn to e5 you reach a symmetric position, and it is white's turn to play. White will begin with moves such as knight to f3, immediately putting pressure on your position, and you will already need to defend. Now compare this to the Scandinavian defense. Now let us move on. After you play pawn to d5, you are directly attacking the pawn on e4, and white must address this threat somehow. In most cases, white either captures the pawn or pushes it forward. For the sake of clarity, let me also explain why these two moves are considered the main options and which one is best, so you are prepared for whatever your opponents may try. What else could white possibly do besides capturing or pushing forward? They could attempt to defend the pawn with pawn to d3. However, after an exchange in the center, you can capture the queen, forcing the king to move into the middle of the board. This is highly inconvenient for white, and they receive no compensation for it, making this clearly a poor option. Another idea for white is knight to c3, which not only defends the pawn, but also attacks your pawn on d5. In this case, you should not exchange because that would play directly into white's intentions. Instead, you can push forward with pawn to d4, gaining space, attacking the knight, and forcing it back, possibly to its original square or to e2 where it stands awkwardly and blocks white's other pieces. This demonstrates that knight to c3 was a mistake, as it allowed you to expand and gain an additional tempo. If white tries to insist on being active and pushes forward, this can easily backfire. After pawn to e5, you essentially lock the position. The knight has no good squares, the bishop takes away key escape squares, and on the next move you are ready to play pawn to c6, leaving white's knight misplaced and wasting time. There is also a sideline worth mentioning, the move knight to f3. At first glance, this looks absurd since it allows you to capture the pawn on e4, but it actually leads to the so-called Tennyson Gambit. After pawn takes e4, white plays knight to g5, aiming to recapture. As you defend, white continues with pawn to d3, attacking your pawn twice. Black can simply trade, and now white hopes that you will play a natural-looking move like pawn to h6. But this is a blunder, because it allows knight takes f7, forcing king takes f7, and then bishop to g6 check. This is a double attack. It checks the king and simultaneously uncovers an attack on the queen. With these tactics, white can win your queen, expose your king, and gain a winning position. However, this trap is very easy to avoid. Instead of playing pawn to h6, black should simply continue with any other normal move, such as knight to c6, and you remain safely a pawn up. So, in conclusion, white's two main options after pawn to d5 are pawn takes d5, the main line, and pawn to e5, not objectively strong, but surprisingly popular at the amateur level. Let us first examine pawn to e5. The problem with white playing pawn to e5 is that it does not really give much to white. Both sides still have a pawn in the center, so nothing has actually changed. White gains no real advantage from this move. The only small upside is that it takes away the natural square for your knight on g8, so you cannot develop it there easily. But the downside is much bigger. This pawn on e5 is now far from the rest of white's army and becomes a target. You can attack it by playing pawn to c5, first controlling the square d4 so that white cannot easily push pawn to d4 in support. If white does play pawn to d4, you can simply capture and eliminate that pawn completely. If white tries to bring out the knight, you can pin it so that it cannot defend and later capture whenever you wish. For example, after knight to f3, you pin with bishop to g4. If white eventually neutralizes the pin, you can bring your knight to c6, and suddenly it is very difficult for white to defend the pawn on a 5. After a simple exchange, knight takes a 5, you are a pawn up. If you like, you can then trade off the bishop, and objectively this already gives black a technically winning position. Now suppose you cannot capture the pawn on a 5 for some reason, and white somehow manages to defend it. Even in that case, your position is still good, even if not completely winning. You just continue with normal development. For example, if it is black to move, you can play pawn to a6. White may continue normally, but your setup remains very solid. In fact, what you reach is very similar to the French defense, but in a much improved version. In the French defense, the bishop on c8 is usually locked in and considered the main weakness of black's position. Here, however, your bishop is free and active, ready to trade or apply pressure. Meanwhile, the pawn on d4 will always be weak. You can also bring your queen to b6, targeting that pawn again. So overall, by comparison, you have a far better version of the French defense. Active pieces, no bad bishop, and lasting pressure against white's center. Now we are approaching the main line. Pawn takes d5, which is the best and most common move for white. We definitely need to spend some time understanding this position. When white captures, in most cases black recaptures with the queen. There is an alternative recapture, which I will mention later, but for now let us focus on the main line. Queen takes d5. Here, white plays knight to c3, immediately attacking the queen. This is the main drawback of the Scandinavian defense. Black brings the queen out too early, allowing white to gain a tempo in development. That is why this line is considered good for white. It is the only way white can try to capitalize on a slight advantage. Now, as the knight attacks the queen, black usually tries to move it to a safe square. Beginners sometimes keep checking with the queen, but that is a mistake. White simply blocks the check, gains more development, and black's queen ends up wasting time by shuffling around, while white collects more tempos. Therefore, black must choose a safe square for the queen, usually either a 5 or d8. Beginner players often retreat the queen all the way back to d8. While this is safe, it is also extremely passive. It looks as if black regrets bringing the queen out at all and is preparing to resign for the next game. What can white do in this case? If you are playing white and your opponent puts the queen back to d8, first of all, you should be happy. Second, I recommend the move order starting with bishop to c4. Generally, you want to play both bishop to c4 and knight to f3, but by starting with bishop to c4, you also set up a nice little trap. After black develops naturally, you then play knight to f3. The general plan is simple. Continue with pawn to d4, castle, and play standard development moves. White is ahead in development and has more space, which gives white a comfortable advantage. If black tries bishop to g4, attempting to pin the knight on f3, white has a powerful tactical shot. Knight to e5. Here you ignore the pin completely and instead attack the bishop. Black is practically forced to capture the queen, but then comes the brilliant blow. Bishop takes f7 checkmate. And that's the Scandinavian defense trap.